I am Mark Steffen.
And I am Steve Harvey. No, I'm
Michael Mandel.
You sure about that?
Let me read the thing again. Oh, my mistake. I am Michael Mandel.
Welcome. This is our New Year's show.
Yes.
Because Christmas
the
was
hats.
Christmas was yesterday. If you're watching this on Saturday.
Happy New Year.
And
Too bad we can't do it.
this is the #2 show in Las Cruces. Wait a minute. Wait, I read that wrong. We're the #1 show.
Hey, we won.
We're not the runners-up. We're the #1 show.
I'll drink to that, Steve Harvey.
Poor Steve Harvey.
I feel sorry for the guy. You know, we never make mistakes, but not everybody can be as good as we are.
Well,
That's why we're #1 or two.
We've all
or
heard
one.
what he did now. He read
The Miss Columbia's name.
first runner-up instead of first place. But he read it as first place, not first runner-up.
They do that so confusingly. I don't blame the guy. And who can tell those girls apart except from their hair color? And also the banners that say stuff.
I can tell you how to tell them apart.
Really?
Yeah, but
Does that have to do with
but
vision?
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, okay. Anyway, we are here, and
Happy New Year coming up.
Mark called me this week, and I thought he left a message, and he called me Steve Harvey, and he said, "Well, what do you know about famous grouse?" So, have some famous grouse.
We're sipping holiday scotches.
Yes, but
today.
the whole thing has nothing to do with that.
It does have a little to do.
Because I thought famous grouse may have had some symbolic New Year's connection. It just seems like,
Well,
I don't know why.
it's got a colorful red grouse on the label,
And
like Christmas.
people like famous grouse for some reason. It's Scotch. So we decided to do, we meaning me,
Decided to do a taste test of
3 different Scotches.
These are blends.
blend Scotches, because when you get to single malts, you go crazy. There's so many.
I want to thank Jim Brussman for his 18-year-old Glenmorangie, which is far too complicated for this tasting. This is a simple blended Scotch tasting. Dewar's is, I grew up on this. My parents made me brush my teeth with Dewar's.
Well, Dewar's, right. Used to see it advertised a lot in Playboy magazine as a kid, I know. And
When did you see Playboy? When you're reading the articles?
of course.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Well, this is Dewar's.
Dewar's. Okay. It's got that single malt kick going on.
It's got smoke in it. It's got an
smoky
Isle of
peaty.
Isla background, which is odd.
It's not
But
like,
it's after that, it fills your mouth up with a great flavor.
yeah, it's nothing like Canadian Mist, I'll tell you that.
That's because it mixed. Yeah, Canadian Mist. What is that like? Like
Something
bourbon?
like Highland
Like
Mist.
bourbon.
No, it's crappy little Scotch. Or it's whiskey. It's
Whiskey.
Blended
yeah.
whiskey from
Yes,
Kentucky.
you're wondering where these Scotches come from. They come from Scotchland.
Scotchland.
You know, you never drink Ings
Ings?
from England.
Oh.
How come England doesn't make their own Scotch? Oh, they can make their own Wales.
Irish.
Irish, they have Irish whiskey. Scotch is a good name for stuff. Okay, I'm a little behind you here.
All right.
We'll drink this throughout. Oh, do you want to do some news here?
Let's talk about a few things we've got coming up.
Okay.
You know, well, coming up, this has already happened. We all heard about Susanna Partynez having a drunken tete-a-tete with the cops on the telephone up in Santa Fe.
Is she going to be vice president-elect?
Well, maybe not now.
Oh. Tell us what happened in your own words.
As you remember it.
As I recall that party, she was having a staff party at the Hotel El Dorado, a nice hotel in
Nice
Santa
hotel.
Fe. I've stayed there myself. And
You didn't have anybody with you?
actually, no, I didn't.
Oh.
Well, I did, eventually. And they were having a party, New Year, holiday party for the staff and everybody. Apparently, it got a little bit out of hand. They got loud. They got noisy. People complained. People were throwing bottles and snowballs off the balcony. And so anyway, the front desk called the police after warning them several times upstairs to be quiet. So anyway, finally the police were called. So Susanna Partynez gets on the horn with the front desk and demands to know who complained and why the police were called. So finally she calls the police dispatch, Santa Fe Police Department, demands to know who complained, demands to...
Does she have some... What job does she have that makes her important? What does she do?
Well, she claims to be the governor of New Mexico. And she demanded to know, she asked the dispatcher, who complained? He said he couldn't tell her that. He says, it's public record. Tell me.
Ha.
You have to tell me. He said, just a moment, I'll get my supervisor. So she waited 5 minutes for the supervisor to show up.
Well, that's what normal people would have to wait for anyway.
Right, especially in New Mexico. So anyway, they got into it on the telephone. She said, well, I've been sitting here for 6 hours. That must have been 6 hours ago when that was happening. I've been here 4 hours having pizza and Coca-Colas.
With my sister.
With my...
I think that was it, wasn't it? Or
with
cousin?
with her disabled sister
Oh.
and other family members.
I could go for some pizza now. Maybe it's a scotch talking.
It always does.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
so-
scotch makes you want to have pizza and Coca-Cola. Maybe something like that.
Now, this is not why the FBI is investigating Susanna Partynez.
No, something totally unrelated.
Yes, but the FBI is now investigating Susanna Partynez from her days when she was a prosecutor down here in Las Cruces.
FBI.
The FBI. So they have their subpoenaing paperwork and other records
calls and
from the
emails.
district attorney's office.
And pay things. What
right,
is it?
because there's been improprieties in her
let's see.
office that date back to the time she was a prosecutor here.
Where's it go?
And so-
payroll, expense, and law enforcement records from her years in the 3rd Judicial
Right.
District.
Now, you know, she's on the short list for vice presidential candidate of whatever Republican
Just behind Sarah Palin.
wins the primary.
Depends on whose accent you like better.
Sarah Palin has that accent. I mean, I
She's
think
more fun to make fun
Tina
of.
Fey, if she has anything to say about it, Sarah Palin will get back in.
That's right.
because, I mean, who's going to do, well, I guess anybody could do Susanna Partynez.
Well, yes, but you know,
Oh, that's warming.
Sarah Palin is America's village idiot. She's much more fun than Susanna Partynez.
Yeah, probably. Susanna Partynez actually is a lawyer. And it
That's
took,
true.
And she worked her way up
And
to
didn't
her
quit
job.
being governor after she
Yeah.
She didn't like it after that.
Yeah, she didn't just get bored.
She actually
Anyway.
stuck. Anyway, so that's
What else?
that's what's going on. So,
Well, there's a few things about fundraising events and also accountability. And there's also a story about,
So we can do the story about how the state is going back into campaign accountability.
well,
that's
yeah,
always far too complicated.
campaign
What's
transparency.
next here?
So,
Something that you like just as much.
did you finish this off? How did you like the doers, Michael?
I love doers. But you know,
It's
I'm
do or
surprised
die.
because it's smokier than I usually like.
That's true.
I
and
usually like a Macallan or an Oban.
See, Michael actually went to Scotland and actually drank scotches, real single malt scotches.
Yes.
He even brought some back.
Many different years of scotches, like year ages. You know what's good? Dalwhinnie Double Wood.
Ever have that one?
Probably not.
That's a good one.
Double wood.
Thank you for sharing.
I don't have that one.
Oh,
Oh wait, now I do.
you do? Not
Yeah, I
double
do.
wood?
I have double wood.
I've had woodies, but not a double wood.
Wow, well, you're missing out on something.
So
Okay,
this-
this is, you know, after Mark said famous grouse, I went looking for other blendeds I had. Monkey shoulder is an interesting one. A monkey shoulder is named after the guys who move the mash. They shovel and turn over the whatever barley stuff, and so after years of doing it, they get a monkey shoulder.
I
But
see.
Cheers again.
Okay.
This one's 43% alcohol, so
86 proof.
Merry Christmas from yesterday.
Yes.
amazing we're so sober after Christmas.
Okay.
Whoa.
Quite a difference in the two.
A little sweeter, maybe.
Yes, I would say that. I would say monkey shoulder
Tasty.
shines.
Tasty. And not as smoky and back palate, more forward palate. I've decided,
Full palate.
more full palate. I've decided that it's useless to go into talking, well, it has some value to talk about flavors like, they talk about it in terms of vanilla or fruit flavor or nutty flavor or smoke or peat. But a lot of it has to do with how it fills your palate and how complicated it is. Some of these
True.
flavors you just can't pinpoint,
And
and they never do, even in the write-ups.
well, even with wine, it takes a certain educated palate to really
And
figure
education,
out how do you feel about it.
Education doesn't come cheap. You have to do a lot of testing.
That's true.
You have to keep testing.
Let me educate some more.
This is a solid flavor. You know, what's funny when you do a Scotch tasting?
Everything's
They're all
funny.
good. They're all good.
So I would recommend this Monkey Shines. I mean,
Monkey
monkey shoulder. because it shines.
Oh, you posted something on Facebook, which is not yours itself, but you took it from somebody else, talking about how certain companies don't want to pay for people's abortions for unreligious reasons.
Well, you know, some religious people who are against birth control for some reason. I've never understood.
Because
that
it's not
really.
their bodies, and they don't care. And they want their women to produce and
they
stay
want
in
other
bed.
people not to have
Yeah.
birth control access, yet their churches don't pay taxes, which means everybody who's not of their religion is paying their
and
bill.
atheists who don't have their own churches have to pay for them, and they don't pay taxes.
Right.
So,
they don't want
we
us
are being
to have
forced
birth
to pay
control.
for them to exist, but they don't want to pay for other people's lives to be as free as they want. You know, people are talking about what's the difference between a fetus and a baby. Do you know what the difference is?
It's like day and night.
Well, yeah, I guess so. But also,
You don't spend your life diapering and feeding your baby or your
That's-
fetus. I mean,
Your
a
fe-
baby,
Which is it?
a baby has to be diapered and fed and educated, and the life has to be supplemented with
college.
It has
You
to be
have to buy-
neglected.
You have to.
No, you have to buy designer clothing.
Fetuses are just part of your own body, man. That's the difference. It's a big difference. There's a big difference. So there you go. Tax churches. I don't know. You know, we're looking for new forms
Of getting income.
Many churches get into politics from the pulpit, and which they're not supposed to do.
They don't necessarily, but
There's ways of getting around it.
and they do. And they're run just like corporations. They make money. They have expense accounts.
They own
spend
property.
Yes, they own property. They have a steady income. That steady income goes to pay for salaries. And what else? You're not paying God.
God doesn't need your money. I heard that from an evangelist. It's not God that needs your money. It's you that has to feel that you need to give the money. That's what it is.
Well, you heard that old joke where they
Throw your money up to.
throw the money, and whatever lands inside the hat is God's money. The other guy says, "Oh, what we do in our church, we throw the money in the air, and whatever lands outside the hat is God's money."
And then
And
What's
then
the third
third
one?
church says, "You throw the money up in the air, and we figure whatever God wants, God will take."
Clouds in the air, yes. Well, I'm glad you didn't say anything about Jews there. You didn't say anything. No, you just said different churches.
No, but you had to
That's
bring it
right.
up, obviously.
Well, yes, because we're ecumenical. Talk about every side of it. Anyway, so there's that joke
On the internet.
Possibly you've seen it. It's on Facebook, and I think it struck a note. I got some good replies. I passed on the post from you to other people, and they all
Oh, I see.
liked
Well,
it, except for one
since
one
we can't,
person.
we don't remember, we can't go into it right now.
Yeah, well, that's what it said. Anyway,
So, Michael, you know, it is New Year's Eve coming up. Do you have any plans?
Not really. Why? You never know if it's going to get here. You know, New Year's Eve could be the end of the world.
Well, that's
what
what they
it
said
sounds
about
like.
Christmas.
why? What are you saying?
You want to go to the whole enchilada festival?
Well, I'm not sure we even have time to get into that right now because we've only got about a minute.
We got a minute. Oh, look at that. Oh, we won't even talk about that.
We'll just wait until.
Well, that's okay.
That's the enchilada being made. Meanwhile, yes, no, I have all these hats here, so we don't have anything to wear over half
Is
the
this
year.
a hat?
There is something at yeah, that's a hat.
At the Encanto that the Rio Grande theater is putting on, the coaster, they're not putting it on. The coasters are at the at the
Now, those guys
Encanto
must be
theater.
80 years old.
Yes, but that's something you can see and do on New Year's. We'll be right back, and we'll be back before next year gets here.
That's true. We'll take
would
this
hope.
quick break.
And then we'll take some famous grouse.
Sounds good.
Cheers.
This is an important announcement for anyone prescribed the blood thinner medication Xarelto. If you or a loved one has been hospitalized or died from serious internal bleeding, including bleeding of the brain or gastrointestinal system after taking Xarelto, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Don't delay. call the Sentinel Group right now. The blood thinner medication Xarelto has been linked to an increased risk of severe internal bleeding, hemorrhaging, stroke, heart attack, and even death. If you or a loved one experienced severe internal bleeding, or if a loved one died as a result of taking the blood thinner medication Xarelto, call the Sentinel Group now. Our network of experienced attorneys are ready to help fight for you. You won't pay a thing until your case is settled. Call the Sentinel Group now for a free case evaluation. Don't wait. If you or a loved one has been hospitalized or died after taking Xarelto, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Call the Sentinel Group right now.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Burke, and I have a secret. Even dancers have to work to stay in shape. How do I keep my body fit? Jazzercise. It's the perfect workout for me. The latest music, the hottest dance moves. It feels more like a girl's night out than a workout. Jazzercise helps me dance my way to a better body. When's the last time you danced? Find a class near you at jazzercise.com.
Celebrate, celebrate, Fiesta Motors.
Come and see us today and discover why our service is second to none. In business for over 17 years, we have the right car for you. When you buy a vehicle from Fiesta Motors, we do everything possible to ensure your satisfaction. Located at the corner of El Paseo and Main. See you there.
Celebrate, Fiesta Motors. We're buying a car. It's always a celebration.
Well, thanks for joining us back again right here on Double Talk.
Yes, we're back.
The Las Cruces Channel is the premier talk show, believe it or not.
Premier.
Right
We
here
want
on,
it.
on Channel 98.
I'm Michael. That's
I'm
Mark.
Mark.
That's how we tell each other apart.
By saying our names all the time.
We are now doing the thing that precipitated the idea of doing blended scotches.
We're doing this in 3D.
Famous grouse. So if you're wearing your 3D glasses, that would work.
Well,
We don't know why it's called famous grouse, but the famous red grouse is out there.
let's
Smells floral.
nice bouquet.
Yes, I think so. Anybody out there, scotch drinkers? You guys drink scotch? Because, scotch is a world unto itself.
This is quite flavorful.
Okay.
And I think I like it the best of the three.
You know, it doesn't have any of that scotch burn. It's got that flavor.
It's quite smooth.
But you can see why people talk about famous grouse
Well,
more than other places. Well, Dewar's is a standard. Famous grouse. Some people I get
I
hooked
wouldn't
on.
grouse about
It is darn
famously,
smooth.
yes.
Not
Well-
not as poppy a flavor as monkey shoulders.
Now, I know that you cannot buy this at Walgreens. They don't have it there. Nor do they have it any longer at Albertsons. So I would have to think Kelly Liquors would be the place to go.
I'm sure they have it. It's one of, I mean, it probably sells more than a lot of single malts. But it
Sure,
might
it costs less than most single malts.
probably in the 20s. It's been a while since I bought that. I bought it at Walgreens.
You did?
Yes, I did. I remember.
I don't have it now.
No, they didn't. But this was like 2 years ago. That's why. Hence, see how much I've drunk of it?
I'll help you out with that.
Oh, well, boy. I know Scotch really has trouble getting lost. What were we talking about? Oh, we're talking about Roberto's.
Would this go well with enchiladas, you think?
You know,
If the sauce is hotter than the whiskey, I think it might.
Did you see Jimmy Kimmel on Monday night where he had a telethon for Red? You know, they had a fundraiser where you call in and buy stuff, and Bono from U2 was there, and Jimmy Kimmel introduces him. He says, "Here's Bono from the U2s." I'm thinking, it's not the B-52s, it's the U2s.
Yeah. He's almost as bad as Steve Harvey.
Well, that was close. But anyway, so they had somebody introducing things, and this girl comes on, and you know, it's Red because it's they're
Holiday.
getting money for the Red organization raises money for AIDS and other things, and it's called Red. She says, "Do you know Red is not only for this organization, but there's a color named that, and also it's a color of that thing." Like when you stop at a light, it's up there, and also Italian sauce. So that's what Red is,
There's
as
also-
well as your tie.
My tire actually, yes, it looks orange on our monitor.
Oh, well, maybe on yours.
There's also a movie camera that's called the Red.
Oh, really?
Yes. I was in a film that was shot with the red. They're good cameras.
There's also an entire, religious,
Well,
political organization called the Reds.
They used to call commies Reds, didn't they?
Yeah, but now it's the Republicans who are the Reds, and the Democrats are considered blue states.
Whatever happened to Red China?
They stop being red.
Well, I think it goes very well with a blue tablecloth, frankly.
And everything goes, oh, there he is, Roberto.
Okay, back to the
Oh, yeah,
enchiladas.
thank you for reminding us what we were talking about.
Because
that's red.
That is red
Taco
enchilada sauce.
Yes,
Now,
enchilada sauce.
The whole enchilada fiesta was one of the premier fiestas in Las Cruces, famous the world over. We made the
30
world's
years.
largest enchilada, and
Open enchilada.
flat enchilada.
Yes, flat enchilada.
And it's one of the many festivals we no longer have in Las Cruces.
And the year before it went out of business, they spent a lot of money buying a new giant enchilada maker.
The
frying
custom built
pan.
a brand new one.
Custom built.
$30,000.
$30,000. So then they stopped doing
They
it
used it
after
once.
that. And with the money left over, which I believe is about $22,000, of course, if they didn't go the extra year, they would have had $50,000.
Well, now they're giving it away to nonprofit charities around town.
Which is good.
It would have been nice if they could put that money back into whoever can take over the enchilada fiesta. The city has talked about doing just that, taking over from where Roberto left off.
Well, they'd have to do something else. You know how the White Sands Film Festival morphed into something else?
Into the Las Cruces Film Festival.
Somebody else takes charge of it and it becomes a whole different entity.
Right. Well, there were improvements that could have been made to the whole enchilada fiesta.
I heard Dave Edwards wants to do the whole Chalupa Festival.
Whole Chalupa?
You know, because of his time on the tuna
On our show. Oh.
Yes. He did the Chalupa speech.
Yes, it looked like a flying saucer.
Flying saucer. The flying saucer looked like a chalupa, a big chalupa coming down.
Well,
The whole chalupa festival. It doesn't have to be an enchilada.
difference does it make?
Not a lot of people are trying to make the biggest chalupa.
Or even chimichanga.
chimichanga.
Yes.
Okay.
So they could do that. There's a lot of whole things you do. A whole taco would be very difficult to
Lift to your mouth.
So, well, we don't have the enchilada fiesta anymore, but here's early word. The Rio, that we don't have any longer,
Where's that on my
because
list?
the Environmental Center backed out of it after 20 some odd years, is coming back. The Kiwanis Club is taking over. The Kiwanis Club is taking over the Raft the Rio.
The Kiwanis?
Yes,
That's
starting
an interesting idea.
this coming June.
There's plenty of guys that could work with that.
I have it on good authority that that's going to be happening this coming summer.
And they also run the Key Club, don't they?
They do.
So,
They're a service organization.
yes.
They do a lot of good work around town.
That's pretty good.
In fact, I had John Northcutt from the Kiwanis on here about a year or so ago.
Your roots go so deep in this community.
Well, I wanted to have members from all the service clubs in town to come on and tell us what they're up to. You can't find them in the phone book. They're not
Kiwanis?
listed anywhere.
Kiwanis?
No,
Who?
the Sertomas,
Oh,
the Lions
oh.
Club, the Optimists. You name them. You can't find them in the phone book.
Look on, organizations. Maybe it's there.
They're not.
You know what the next thing we're going to try to do, and we're going to run this with the help of our producer.
He's going to fund this concept, which is the Las Cruces Cocktail Convention.
Ah,
Yes, he's going to do that.
Me
Thank
like
you. You like that idea?
sure
That would be
do.
good. They have one in San Antonio, New Orleans. We're just at like those
Why not
towns.
here?
Yes.
We got to fill in for all these missing festivals.
We have that problem with nobody here knowing how to make a Negroni. You know, they'll learn Negronis and everything else once we do a cocktail conference.
That's true.
So that's the way we're going to do it.
Okay.
Anyway.
And
what do we got?
You
Do
heard
we
it
have
here
any time
first.
left?
Oh, we got 5 minutes.
Oh,
So, Michael, you've heard of the Chipotle restaurant.
Chipotle.
Fresh Mexican restaurant.
You're not talking about habaneros, right?
No.
Because habaneros is another type of pepper.
That's true.
That a restaurant's named
But the
after.
Chipotle, that's a chain. I think they
Yes.
have some 700 outlets.
Very popular.
We don't have one
Stock
here,
skyrocketed.
but there is one in El Paso. Now, they've been having trouble with food poisoning in many of their outlets. The E. coli bacteria has been cropping up. People have been getting sick. Restaurants have been having to close. Chipotle is having to
So
apologize.
E. coli comes from lettuce that's not
There it is
washed?
right there.
Washed. Oh, E.
Or
coli
that's-
is all over. That picture
Or
of
that's
E.
the
coli?
candy dish on the way out.
See,
I'm not
you
sure.
know, you're doing the same thing that Trump is doing to Muslims. We're pointing to one E. coli. That might not be the E. coli that's causing the trouble.
Well, you've seen
You
one
know-
E. coli, you've seen them all.
Well, I think they're all individual. You know how all snowflakes are different? Each E. coli has its own personality.
Just like sperm.
That's
Every
true.
sperm is good. But it seems to me that somebody is sabotaging Chipotle, because how can E. coli be popping up in these
Unless
far-flung
they have a
outlets?
similar supplier. You'd think
Maybe they're
they'd
getting their
figure it
lettuce
out.
from Mexico. Maybe their vegetables are coming from Mexico, where they use human excrement as fertilizer.
Ah,
Could be.
well, it's not easy to
And they don't
collect
wash
that
it
stuff.
properly. That's why you can't eat the lettuce or
So the last
in
outbreak,
India.
Or probably drink the water in Mexico.
Exactly. Or
But-
India.
Or India. But it was
140 people in a Chicago Chipotle that came down with it.
so it was.
It was specific. It's not like it went to. It's one Chipotle. They have more than one Chipotle. Probably like they have the Boston.
But they cropped up on the West Coast.
It was
in
Chicago or
Oregon
Boston. I
and
think it was
somewhere.
Boston. Yes, it's all over. But
And
it sounds like your theory is right. I think you should follow it up.
somebody's sabotaging Chipotle. Their stock is going down. Now's the time to buy the stock, I guess.
Possibly. It was downrated by a number of brokers this past week.
I have not been to the one in El Paso. I'm anxious to go there.
They're probably pretty
Still.
good. People talk about they love Chipotles. They love them. You know, I hate to say this, especially to you and on this show, but late night when there's no place else to eat anywhere, we go to Chili's. And I had 2 enchiladas there that were pretty darn good.
Really?
Yes, I'm sorry. I hate to say it because
Enchiladas and chili. What kind of enchilada?
I had a sour cream and a chicken something else.
Like chicken enchiladas.
Chicken
Green,
two
red?
A green chicken enchilada and a sour cream chicken enchilada.
I see.
And they were both
It tastes
really
flavorful,
good.
delicious,
They were really good. They're
satisfying.
full flavored. I mean, I like the enchiladas, you know, at Ciro's, and
Oh.
and I like the
but-
tacos at Good Luck Restaurant.
Yes, yeah.
And a number of places.
Yes, and you also like
What?
that Italian chain I won't mention.
Olive Garden
Oh,
has
yeah,
some
Olive
good things.
Garden.
But you're at least open-minded. You won't even bother to try it.
If
You
you're,
won't even try it.
if you're buying, I've tried it before. I've tried it in El Paso more than once.
Oh, yeah, it's just your attitude. It's not your taste buds, it's your attitudes that are determining. So what are we going to announce? What's happening
Well,
next?
it's New Year's Eve coming up.
Drive sober. Here you go.
This is Saturday, New Year's
Let
Eve.
us do your drinking.
New Year's Day is next Friday. New Year's Eve is next Thursday. So Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes.
Thanks for being with us on our New Year's show, even though it's the actual New Year's is almost a week away.
It's coming up.
Drive carefully. You know the cops are going to be out there in force. There's going to be roadblocks and checkpoints. So be careful. Have a designated driver if you can.
So, you know, if you do a breathalyzer test, just stop breathing.
That's how you do it. That's how you pass the test. If you have,
I used to know a kid who had these sour ball candies. He said if the cops pulled him over, he'd pop a couple in his mouth and chew them up. If they gave him a breathalyzer,
It would
it would
distort.
blow the needle all the way to where he should be dead.
because it's all sugar.
And they'd have to throw it out. They'd arrest him.
I have a personal breathalyzer, and what happens is if within 20 minutes of you putting alcohol in your mouth, it goes way up because it pretty much gets the alcohol in your palate. Oh, look,
That's
it's
'cause
almost
it's-
time for us
That's
to...
because it's court ordered, though, right?
Yes. Get my car started.
Well, thanks for joining us on Double Talk.
Yes.
We'll see you next year, right here
on
Double Talk.
Channel 98, Las Cruces TV,
Let's do
and
some pretty good
YouTube.
talk show. I'm going to have some
Oh,
cheese.
there's Ray Sewell. There's Mark Steffen. You're the producer.
Do you know that?
Now we can party.
Yeah, we can.
Where's the,
We didn't
where's the crackers?
What's wrong?
That's not a cracker. You're a cracker.
I'm a cracker.
Are we clear?